I hear that you two have a big announcement.
Well, the people always want more.
Yes.
And so Erica and I and Heartbeat have teamed up to give you more. How about the Reliving Single podcast?
Ow.
May 7th on Heartbeat and all the places where you find your podcasts. And on YouTube.
So are you gonna have like all of the old cast and everything? Are we gonna find out? What about like what's going on with Overton and Kyle? Okay.
We have actually already done an interview with one of the castmates. I can't tell you who, but I'll just say smooches. That's all I'm saying.
Livy's Rewatch podcast. They always lead to reboots. So Erica and Kim, are y'all ready to get the gang back together again?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, and I paused it just to say, they do not always lead to reboots and spin-offs.
No, and they try. Oh, there's more?
Yes, but go ahead.
I was going to say, and they tried, like, after the show was changed and ending, they tried to keep it going, and it was weird. Like, that final season of Living Single is weird. After Regine moves out, Queen Khadijah leaves, and everybody else is left, and Overton and Sinclair are married, it gets weird.
I take your word for it.
They moved in, the guy, I forget his name, he had a woman's name, I think it was Tracy or Stacy or something like that. They move in the guy, he becomes their new roommate, and it's just weird.
Gotcha.
Am I making up that Khadijah left? I don't know, but it was. I think it was that Khadijah left and Regine moved out, and then it was weird because like the move out wasn't great. Anyway, whatever.
I'd like to see a reboot.
I'm just stroking my chin hair. I'm not really thinking.
Would y'all like to do a reboot and have the gang back together?
I would say yes, because I think we all still look good. So
Yes.
that's my very shallow reasoning. And because we all still love each other, and there's still a beautiful chemistry that will never die. So I would say yes if the opportunity presented itself.
Okay, well, y'all got to post where we got to write, who we got to march.
And I think it's a good reason for y'all to come and listen to the podcast to find out.
We do all the behind the scenes, like things that you've never heard before, and also things that we're revealing to each other that we didn't know at the time. So there's like there's tears and joy and all the things.
Oh, we're going to be listening.
Yes,
we will.
All right, so that's a clip from the Sherry Show.
Yeah, which I don't care for, but you know, that's where
I just said where it came from. I didn't.
No, I know because
I didn't say buy stock in the company or anything like that.
I'm only saying that because I'm the person who shared it.
That's the job, right?
It's exactly my point. It's the job.
Yeah, you did your job.
For her.
Anyway, what do you think about this podcast happening? Are you interested? Are you gonna rewatch?
Oh, I always rewatch. So that Living Single is like one of my comfort shows. It's also one of my I can fall asleep to this show. Even though I don't do a whole lot of that these days. I find as I get older, I don't need the TV to fall asleep or anything like that. I just turning the lights off works.
Wow, wonders.
I mean,
that's what I be telling my kids. I'm like, if you turn off the light and put your phone away, I bet you will be sleeping in about 10 minutes tops.
Right. And you be like, oh, I'm going to have insomnia. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because you're old and you got a lot on your head already.
That's it.
And you've been working all day.
Working.
And now you're exhausted. So.
Exhausted.
Sleep just
comes. Night, nigga.
Exactly.
Back to the show.
So, yes. So I'm constantly watching Living Single episodes. I like to jump around a little bit and watch like certain seasons or certain episodes that I like at this point.
You see your jam.
So, yeah, it's one of those shows for me. I have like
you mentioned it when we had the Disney Plus and streaming conversation as well.
Right, yeah. So that's one of my shows, like that, Golden Girls, A Different World. There's a few of them. So we don't need a reboot. We don't need a reboot.
She also said the wrong word. A reboot means starting over.
Right, I agree, but again,
She meant like a spin-off or
she meant
something
a
of that
spin-off
nature.
or some sort of sequel, some sort of
Sequel,
continuation
right,
to
exactly. That's what she
now.
meant.
Living single was a very specific concept,
Yes.
which is why we know those other people stole it. But living single is a very specific.
Never mind.
Tell me, please.
I heard the same debate on a podcast a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say the name of the podcast, but a doctor
We know the
said,
podcast you watch.
but a doctor said
Uh,
it's a false narrative. And when he was asked why, he said lots of shows have done that concept, both before and after. So the fact that people compare the famous black show to the famous white show is actually a false equivalent, because it's not about black or white or who did it first. Because if the conversation is truly who did it first, none of them did it first. And I thought that was really interesting. They asked him, what show did it first? He said a lot of them, but just one that happened in our lifetime that we can remember and we know well is Three's Company. And it started a big argument because some people said that was true and some people felt it was not true.
which
But
I love as well, by the way.
yeah, because some people said yes, it was single friends living together. And other people said, no, it was one guy trying to have sex with two women.
Yeah, the concept I think was with Three's Company was a little bit more layered than just three friends living together. I agree with that. But I think the thing that is missing here is that we see this happen with a lot of shows. Like even let's take Grey's Anatomy, for example. Grey's Anatomy is not the first. Well, today it seems like it because it's been on for a million seasons. But Grey's Anatomy was not the first.
Maybe it's not the first, but it is the show.
It is the medical drama, right? But so Grey's Anatomy is not the first medical drama to happen on television. It's probably the biggest at this point. And there were medical dramas.
It was what, ER first, right?
Yes, which ER is actually, we should talk about ER next week. ER
because they're suing HBO for the pit.
Yeah. But so there was ER, and I remember when ER was on, because
ER was hot in these streets.
ER was hot in the streets. And then there's shows that have come after it. I even asked somebody yesterday about Chicago Med, because the Chicago series, first of all, Dick Wolf has this whole universe that he's got going on, which I think is pretty incredible. But Chicago Med is one of the medical dramas. I know, I see your face. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going somewhere with this.
No, you went from one tangent to a whole nother tangent to a whole nother tangent. But go ahead.
So my point,
I'm gonna let you cook.
My point here is, yes, that happens with all concepts, right? When you're talking about movies, TV, books, it happens everywhere. I think the thing that's missing in that conversation, I think we're having a specific conversation about something that was happening at a specific time, and something that was created, something that appears to have been created to mirror what existed. It's not to say that the concept, so maybe I was wrong at the beginning of this conversation by saying the concept was stolen. Maybe concept is not the right word, but it appears that show mirrors what was happening on this show. And I think that was with intention, because I think
I'm sorry, but I have to disagree. I just looked up when they both came out. They came out a year apart.
Which one came out first?
Living Single by months. Shows you like to say all the time, and I agree. You like to say all the time, these things don't just come together in a day. Pilots
get filmed way before the rest of the show gets filmed.
Okay. So I wasn't there, so I can't argue that.
I'm just saying pilots get filmed. So think about it this way. Each network often has a show that is some sort of response to another show, right? So
I don't know if I'm rolling with that.
think about it. Think about it.
Give me examples.
Okay. So something that was a spinoff of Grey's Anatomy was Station 19. It was a show about firefighters. Then all of a sudden, Chicago Fire shows up on the scene. Either or one of them came. One of them came first. I don't want to say that it was Station 19.
But what about in
that
the
came
90s?
first.
What was doing that in the 90s? Besides Living Single and Friends, because that's our debate. So give me another example of this.
I'd have to look. I don't have that readily available. I can't recall every show that happened in the 90s.
But you said it happened often, so give me some examples. I know in the comments they're gonna wild out with examples, but
Right, but you're asking me for specifically for an example in the 90s, and I'm right now I just don't.
okay. So the example that comes to mind because we were talking about the 90s, but it's fine. Your example
Right.
is the
So what
fire
I'm
shows.
what I'm saying is each network has a fire show now. NBC has one, CBS has one, ABC has one. Station 19 got canceled, but
Well, you said it's called Chicago Fire.
there's a Chicago Fire. I think Chicago Fire might have actually come first.
Chicago
and then
Fire
Station
came out in
19.
2012.
Right.
Station
And then
19 came out in 2019.
Right. So Station 19, I believe, was like, oh, look at what they're doing over there. Because
2018. I'm sorry.
Because then they built this whole and the reason I use these as examples is because with Chicago Fire, there's also, like I said, Dick Wolf is building this universe. So there's Chicago Fire, then there was Chicago PD, and then there was Chicago Med. They do this crossover thing. ABC was doing a very similar thing with Grey's Anatomy and Station 19.
Got it.
And then I think CBS had 911, and 911 was like a hybrid of all three. 911, you got EMS, you got you got firefighters, and you got police.
Got it.
So you understand? You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Now back to the original topic.
All right, and we can cut this out if that was too.
No,
if
why?
that was
I
too
thought it was
much.
fine.
But
you always want to cut everything. Calm down.
Because if it didn't make sense, and if I went on a tangent that didn't make sense, I don't want to put
niggas go on tangents. There's this thing called podcasts. I don't know if you heard of them, but on podcasts, people go on tangents all the time.
Okay. I just don't want the point to get lost. Is why I'm saying that.
No, we had a whole side conversation, and I hear you. And that's cool. I'm just bringing us back to the original topic now. That's all.
Right.
Where's the white flag? Let me wave something. Hold on.
All right. So anyway.
Yeah, I know I have white flags on deck. You know what I'm saying?
What is wrong with you? Please. Stop being ridiculous.
I almost responded in Spanish.
Don't. You see?
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm sorry. Serious. Okay. Living Single Rewatch Podcast.
The point here is not about that other show. The point is about this show. The point is that this show does not need to be rebooted.
Continued
and the
or
reason
retold.
why is because I would prefer a show like it, which probably already exists, but I would prefer a show like it that exists on its own. I don't need the 50-year-old cast to return to try to get that old thing back. I think we got to give it up. I'm really frustrated with all of these reimaginings, because you can't even call it a reboot. These reimaginings of these shows where people were in their 20s and the concept of the show was a very specific concept. It was about people in their 20s living in New York City and dating and working and what their lives looked like. And that is a very specific thing. It's the same way, like, A Different World was very much about people in college. It is okay to keep the concept as what it was and
Right.
leave it there and say we had a good thing and now there are other things. Now, if these people want to come together to make another show, whatever. But I just don't feel like we need to build something else off the back of something that ended 20 years ago or
But they
however long it
say,
was.
but they say a midget standing on a giant's shoulders could see much further than a giant.
I don't think we're supposed to say that.
It's a Jay-Z line and it's a joke, but you're right. We're not supposed to say midget in 2025. Okay, fine. I apologize for being insensitive. I'm just trying to make jokes.
All right.
Swing and a miss.
Thank you.
Swing and a miss.
So,
All right, but if they
All right,
did
what do
living
you
elderly, you not down for living elderly?
no. No. I
Nah, I
honestly
knew the
would
answer was no.
prefer,
I just fucking with you.
I would prefer less to see the entire cast on a show and maybe like give me, if you want to use the same concept, I would want to see them focus on maybe a couple of characters, like if Sinclair and Overton are still together. I think and I don't
So
even
you
know.
want to do like what they doing with different world.
Yeah, but I don't even like. I don't even like. I honestly wish they would leave it alone.
Me too.
I don't want them to do anything.
I think it was great. It had a great run. Let it just stay there.
Yeah, let it just continue to be great as it is, because
Yeah,
again,
we
as I
don't gotta
said,
mess it
we'll
up
watch
like
it.
Jay-Z dropping another album. You know what I'm saying? Like, bye.
Good luck to us all. Yeah, I mean that's it. So you think it should stay the way it is? Okay, but I will listen to this podcast.
And you should. You're a fan. It sounds like they're gonna have some cool behind the scenes stuff and good times and sad times and times, you know. And so it's the best of times, it's the worst of times, that kind of thing. And I think that's cool for those who are still emotionally tied to the show and want to know what's going on with the cast and want to hear all that behind the scenes stuff. I think that stuff is great. It's like when you get the DVD and you watch the bonus features. And these are the bonus features 30 years later. I think it's cool. I'm not the biggest Living Single fan. I saw it as a kid in pieces. So I don't have any ties to it. I'm not against watching it from start to finish. That's a cool project. I don't mind taking that on. But I don't even know where Living Single exists on the internet. Like
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
You should watch
I
it.
might have to start Living Single then.
Yes.
So I can come up here and give y'all season by season review. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my gosh, yes. I will rewatch it with you. Like
Yeah, I might have to do that. I need a show to watch anyway, so I might have to do that.
I love that.
I mean, yeah, but wait. Hold on.
I think it's
How many episodes is one season? Because
well, it was the 90s, so
no, I don't got 24 episodes for y'all. Like it's too much.
But it's a sitcom. The episodes are short. They're less than 30 minutes.
Fine.
No, we should definitely I love this idea. It's 5 seasons. I think the last season is really short.
What did I do?
I don't even know what to say to you right now.
All right, let me get out of here. Let me start now.
The first season is the first season is 27 episodes. But remember, it is a sitcom, which means the episodes are probably...
I'm definitely going to fall asleep watching this. I'm going to keep it a buck. It don't matter how entertaining it is. 27 episodes. You know, because you know what happens? You get in a good rhythm. And you be like, all right, let me watch one more.
Yeah.
And then you wake up like this. Let me show you. You wake up like this.
Right. You could probably watch like 3 episodes in an hour. Especially if you're watching it commercial free.
You wake up like, what? What's going on? I don't know what happened. This is about to be our artwork right here.